And always when you shade, don't have the mag shading straight like this in the direction you're going. Tilt that bitch so it's on like a 45. That'll give you smoother grays. The needles aren't as separated when you're doing that. And take your time. Tattoo slow. You don't want to go too fast. You go too fast, you're gonna fuck the whole shit up. You're excited? Good. Shouldn't be. No, I'm just kidding.
Why?
No, you should be. I've been excited for this.
You know how long I've been waiting.
I'm annoyed that it took as long as it did to fucking design it.
Yeah.
Finding those photos sucked dick.
That's cool, right?
It's straight. It works.
Yeah. The whole thing will be fire, though. That's
I'm most excited to see it like done, completed.
something.
It's just gonna be tough. Now I'm running the 40. Seems as if I didn't get that bitch enough though.
Stuff like that. He's like all over the place.
You're Adam. You see? Oh, sorry. No. Go. Oh wait. Stole a grandma's car. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now I'm running a 40. Still running it on 7.
What was the worst spot you got done?
Tip of the elbow sucked for my arm. The worst spot of my arm, I would say, is the tip of the elbow.
Over there?
Yeah, tip of the elbow fucking was terrible.
It hurt more on that side. Like when you were doing it on like the front side of my arm, like on the words.
This isn't that bad.
No.
Good. The tip of the elbow was dog shit. Around the elbow wasn't that bad. Tip was, I didn't like, but it was line work. It wasn't shading. I don't know how shading feels.
Yeah.
The worst spot I've had so far, I would argue, is the inside of my calf. The inside of my calf, still to this day, is terrible.
This is the worst.
Thigh was your worst? Thigh wasn't that bad for me, dog.
No, like this area, like on the teardrop part.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a teardrop part. That shit's fucked.
Yo, Steven.
Bill?
So I ended up just switching the cap of the black one onto the stencil one, and that worked like easy. It's just the
Perfect.
caps, they're all like certain fits.
Yeah, there's certain shapes on the top. I cut mine out to make it versatile, but if you run that with the black, that works perfectly. If you only do the black, that works perfectly. Hell yeah. You start printing with it yet or no?
I haven't. I'm just now filling it all in.
Valid.
Putting that one in.
Did you get the app or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now with it.
Fire.
Oh yeah.
How's it feel?
It's fine.
Valid. You guys can't even see what I'm doing right here. That sucks. I hire a fucking cameraman. Yeah, I think for the majority of this piece, since it's a little bit larger, unless I'm hitting the Unless I'm hitting the really tiny details, I'm gonna be running the 23. So, oh, I didn't even tell you what mag I'm running. 23 quadrant bug pin. Also, remember, if you're tattooing over bone, you don't have to go nearly as deep as you would for the skin surrounding it. So be very, very easy when you're going over bones or any sort of tendons like that, because the skin ends up being a little bit thinner, so it doesn't take as much effort to get that dark tone. You got to be a little bit lighter on it. I'm going to end up coming back to this and revisiting it because that red is going to. Okay, your brother.
My skin goes flipping.
It's good. It's getting red just because of the area, not because of your skin. The elbow is very sensitive. Yeah, it was very sensitive, so don't worry about that.
Makes like bug pins different. Like I never heard of those before.
Bug pins is it's just another name for like a thinner gauge needle. So the standard gauge for a needle in the industry is a 12 or 0.35. Whenever you get smaller than that size, they consider it a bug pin. I don't really know where the name bug pin kind of originated, but that's kind of what that's what they call it. They call it a bug pin. So it's anything smaller than a 12 gauge. And if you're using a 10 gauge, I wouldn't go any lower than a 10 on like mags per se. For me, I've ran into issues with mags being lower than a 10 gauge, grabbing ink and actually getting the ink consistent into the skin. So I only use a 10, but that's also considered bug pin. Yeah, but bug pins are best for smooth gray, in my opinion. My game changed a lot when I started using bug pins for shading. Yeah, my game changed fucking substantially when I started using bug pins. You just can't get that same fucking light gray fucking gradient that you can with the fucking standard. It just hits the skin so much harsher. At least in my experience, that's what I've noticed. But ever since I switched to bug pin, I haven't switched back to using standard unless I'm packing black.
So it just gives like a lot softer of a look.
Yeah, it's a lot softer. It's like the way that I was kind of told about it is if you think about like pixels, you're tattooing essentially in pixels. Like each needle is one dot, right? So like you have a certain amount of pixels. With a 12 gauge, the pixel is larger than with a 10. So if you use smaller pixels, you'll get a better resolution as long as you know where to place them. That's kind of how it was explained to me, where I understood it the best. How do you like my mom and Lee booking? Good. Good.
You use the Cheyenne needles, ain't it?
I use for shaders, I use quadrants. So for anything for shading, I use quadrant right now. I prefer Bishop Da Vinci's. I feel like they're the smoothest needle. They're just not consistent. So when it comes to consistency, I feel like you can better gauge how good you are and how good you get based off consistency. And quadrant is the best, most consistent needle I've personally used. But the cleanest, sharpest needle I've used, I would give it to Bishop any day of the week. Bishop Da Vinci's best I've ever used for mags and shading. When it comes to line work, I like the Cheyenne capillary needles, which is this. And I use them for liner.
Yeah.
You see how it's kind of like, I forget the actual name, but up here in the actual cartridge, see how it's twisted? That holds ink really, really, really well. Like super fucking well. That's why I like it so much.
Because I have a bunch of those ones, like the Cheyenne needles. Like I got a bunch of like their shaders and stuff.
Fire.
And then I got like ones, like when I first started, I just ordered a bunch like of just random, like different needles off Amazon.
Yeah, I would say Cheyenne. I would argue Cheyenne are some of the best needles. I feel like Cheyenne was the leader in the industry a couple years ago. Like there was no competition before Bishop came and fucked the whole game up. Cheyenne had it all set. Cheyenne needles are fucking solid. Cheyenne machines are always solid. I would say the biggest contender in my brain would be Quadrant and Bishop. I would put them as like the top three in my head. But there are a lot of new companies out there with new technology that I haven't tried yet. So take my word with a grain of salt. Before you stop. You better. Oh my.
I can't tell if they're bug pin though. Would it say like on the box?
On the Cheyennes.
Yeah.
So on the Cheyennes, if you're looking at, let's see. Yeah, Cheyennes definitely look a little bit different, but right here on this one specifically, you see how it says 0.25? So 0.25 is the gauge of the needle. So this isn't a 10, but this is an 08. So this is an 0803, right? So this one says 0.25, that shows the gauge. Where on Quadrant, it shows 3013. So each needle cartridge shows the sizing different. But it should show it. If you're not entirely sure, send it to me and I'll read into it once I have a free minute.